Today we're going to talk a squirrel! Anyway, like I was saying, there's a lot of misconceptions about this topic. For example, not everyone is like that and gets distracted by squirrels, although squirrels are cute and distracting. So in this video, I'm going to take the 7 most commonly believed myths that you likely still believe about ADD and ADHD and explain the truth behind them. So I say we get right into it. This is 7 myths you still believe about ADHD. ADD and ADHD are not actually medical disorders. Let's start with one that people have been talking about since ADD and ADHD were originally discovered. That, of course, being that ADD is not a legitimate medical disorder. This myth basically says that ADD is a crutch for parents, teachers, and doctors who want to use it to explain why a person would rather do fun things than work. But that is simply not true. In addition to being the most commonly studied psychiatric disorder in children and adolescents, attention deficit disorder is biologically based, and scientists have shown an imbalance in chemicals that lead to significant problems with the executive functions in the brain. The inability to focus and impulsiveness are just 2 symptoms of this 100% accurately categorized medical disorder. So if you get distracted easily, you may have it, or you just may really like squirrels. I really like squirrels. ADD and ADHD can be cured by simply learning to focus. Now that we've established that ADHD is in fact a medical disorder, we turn our attention to the ridiculous cures that people who don't have the disorder have come up with. The first is the idea that simply willing yourself to focus whenever possible is the fastest way to rid yourself of it. However, it's simply not true, and there is no cure for ADHD. All a person can really do is deal with the symptoms of the disorder. Thus, by trying your hardest to focus, you might actually be able to do so, but without some sort of treatment plan such as academic help and behavior modification treatment, the inability to focus will more likely than not return soon. So all you're going to do if you see someone with this condition, you're like, hey man, why can't you just focus? You're just gonna upset them, so don't do it. Kids can grow out of having ADHD. Many people who haven't read into ADHD and have obviously never been to medical school believe that not only is ADHD not a medical condition, but that it's simply a phase that a person can grow out of. The reality is that this condition can stick with you well into adulthood. In fact, despite there being an abundance of treatments like better structured environments and medications such as Ritalin, 70% of kids who have the disorder continue to have it when they reach adolescence, and 50% have it through adulthood. Many of those adults have even made their ADHD a merit instead of a flaw. As in many careers, having a lot of energy is actually an asset, just as long as it doesn't require you to focus on too many things at once. That's just no bueno. Only hyperactive kids have ADHD. Let's tackle this myth on 2 fronts. Firstly, it's possible for someone to have ADHD and not seem hyperactive all the time, even though hyperactivity is the most common symptom of this disorder. They may have trouble staying focused on a task and act impulsively without it seeming like they've got limitless energy. Secondly, as we've touched on before, ADHD can affect adults as well. In fact, over 6% of adults have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and many don't even know it. Students with ADHD get an unfair advantage. Many parents who find out that their children's classmate gets academic help or extra time during tests and assignments actually claim it's unfairly biased against the kid. However, when you have a condition that limits your ability to focus on a task, of course you're going to get the help that you need to complete it. Both teachers and professors are doing their best to provide a balanced education to all the students, and sometimes it takes a little more focus to get that education. Consider it just leveling the playing field, as before that extra time was given, the non-ADD children actually had the advantage. Taking ADHD medication leads to drug abuse. Hello left field, it's me, a jump to conclusion. Despite the fact that people with ADHD tend to take more risks and be more impulsive, studies show that the opposite of this myth is actually true. Research done over the last 50 years suggests that those who take medication for their diagnosed ADHD are actually at a reduced risk of abusing other drugs than those who have not had their condition diagnosed or treated properly. See, ADHD medications are stimulants that don't cure the disorder, but treat the symptoms. So sadly, because of that, people without the condition have been known to abuse the drugs for various reasons. People with ADHD never amount to anything. Anyone who says that someone with ADHD isn't going to amount to anything is extremely misinformed uninformed and is borderline bullying. The truth is, many famous people, from inventors to politicians, even to celebrities on the cover of your favorite magazine, have had ADHD. Like who? Well, for beginners, Robin Williams, Benjamin Franklin, Elvis Presley, Bill Gates, JFK, and the Wright brothers, Abraham Lincoln, Mozart, and the list pretty much goes on and on. ADHD is a common condition, but even if there was a cure tomorrow, a great number of people would likely not take it, as they've made it a part of who they are and they're actually better for it. So hopefully you guys learned a little something from this video, and I wanted to let you know that Amazon Fire has launched a brand new series called This Week on Fire, and it's hosted by none other than my friend Philly D, aka Philip DeFranco. The purpose of the series is to highlight new movies, new TV series, and new games coming to Fire TV every week. But it gets even better because Phil had me on the show, and we had a lot of fun. You guys are going to love it. So if you want to check it out, click the little I, or click the annotation, or click the link in the description. There's 3 different places you can check it out, but be sure to check it out because you're going to love it. And as always, if you got something out of this video, subscribe to this channel so that you can catch my next video. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.